Thank you.
Business Express. Business Express.
I go live.
Brought to you by InterSwitch. Transaction solutions you can depend on.
Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. Thank you very much for tuning in and staying tuned. My name is Mairo-Ese, and it is time for today's edition of Business Express 981. I have Rotus on a call. Good morning, Rotus. How are you today?
Hi, thank you. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers. Hope everybody's doing okay.
We are doing
the fintech companies.
I was going to say we're doing okay, except for Rice Vest and Bamboo and other fintech organizations. And we'll find out or discuss that in detail in a short while, because I'm sure a number of people have heard of that news and are trying to follow updates and just think around what's really going on. Thankfully, we have Rotus to help us along that line. So I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this one. If you'd like to join the conversation, we are live on YouTube, youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. Search for that. You'll find it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get notifications when we come online. You can use the chat box to send us a message if you want to, or you could send a message through our WhatsApp platform. WhatsApp is 0809 444 0981. Join our community on WhatsApp so you get to see our updates and our WhatsApp status and information as to, around our shows. You can send me your name and number and I'll add you. All right, Rotus, over to you.
Yeah, so
what's going on?
Yeah, the central bank has, according to the cable, central bank has received a court order freezing the accounts of Trove, Rise, Bamboo, and Chaka over what it's saying are illegal FX transactions. It's saying that they were accessing funds on the Nigerian exchange from their banks, BDCs, international money transfer operators, and transferring in excess of $10,000 overseas to other accounts. Also said that they're dealing in cryptocurrencies, basically saying that they've contravened every order that the CBN has specifically said were not to be contravened. That is the orders that the central bank has put out. Central bank said, there are limits on how much it can be, moved out in terms of FX movements, or rather $10,000 caps, crypto transactions, and saying that they basically contravened the number of these laws. So the accounts have been frozen for 180 days. And during those 180 days, the central bank wants to conclude its investigations into these 4 accounts. Now that we're here, who's been asking me? There's someone who's been sending a message the last 2 days asking Rotus, how can I buy foreign exchange overseas? What are
yes, I recall. Yeah.
Right. So, now that it's in the news and those are the 4 platforms that allow you to invest overseas. And these folks have been around for a while. Bamboo launched in 2018 or 2019. Trove has been around for a while. Chaka. Don't forget, it was a few months earlier this year, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and we talked about it on the show, the SEC came out saying that these platforms were operating illegally because they didn't have a license.
Hi, Rotus, can you hear me? Okay, so whilst we wait for Rotus to come by, thank you very much, Vincent. I've got your number. We'll save it very shortly. Just holding on, I think our man Rotus is a bit frozen. And hearing that information about the accounts is enough to make one freeze in the spot. But if you want to respond to this story, whilst you can continue the articles around in terms of newspaper reports. If you are on our YouTube channel, we'll show a few of those reports with regards to the Bamboo story. This report in the cable details some of the, what has happened. And I think it's important to mention that we have a statement from one, if not all, in a number of them who have responded to the directive from the CBN. I'm just trying to pull that up right now. Okay, whilst I pull that up, I'll take a few of your comments and I'll come back to that particular story whilst Rotus joins us again. All right, so we have a statement from Rise saying that with regards to the latest news about us and our FX dealings, you can be sure that your investments and funds are safely managed, that funding and withdrawals will continue to be processed as normal, and that all our US operators remain intact. We will work with regulations as we always have to ensure that all issues raised are properly addressed. However, this does not affect our users or their investments, which are managed by regulated third parties in all jurisdictions in which we operate. Love and returns, they said, Rise. It'd be good to hear in terms of Rotus, what if they are able to, as they have mentioned, protect the interest of their of the people who, of their customers, the people who transact business with them. We have from Frank, what's the implication of rank freezing on the users of these platforms? Okay, so Frank, I've read the statement from Rise, one of these platforms, and an organization can make a statement. It's to see just how effective it is and what indeed would happen to users of the platform. Then he says, does it mean they can't transact again or do anything in 180 days? So we have from Daniel, please, what's the role of CBN? They have failed in every respect of providing the price stability, inflation control. Well, they could say that part of their role, part of their job is to indeed regulate these kind of platforms. So in doing this, they have managed to do just that. So, like some people have mentioned, a bit high-handed. A number of people have questioned investor confidence. We're already struggling with that. FDI is at, on a decline, and so people are looking at the optics, the realities, and just trying to understand that. I have Rotus back. Hello, Rotus. Thanks again for joining us. It looks
The
like
powers that be don't want this story.
They are not happy with the story and your analysis, but analyze we must. I have a number of things that have come up whilst you were away, Rotus. Someone had asked a question. Okay, so I'd read out the statement from Rise, right, saying that it wouldn't affect users of their platform. They'd still be, and their foreign partners. To what extent are they able to control that? And what's the impact, the real impact on users of those platforms? Someone asked that question as well.
Yeah, so just to finish the point though, the Securities and Exchange Commission a few months ago said that these parties were not operating legally in Nigeria. These parties have third-party brokers overseas, and those brokers overseas are the ones that handle the FX that is used to purchase stock overseas. So they all apparently got the licenses, or they are on their way to sorting that out. So that's where we were with the SEC. You already had one regulator already shining a light on them and everyone thought that was fine. So now, to answer your question, the funds are frozen, right? So they cannot transact any. So not your funds are safe if you have money with these, and they've quickly come out. Trove has sent out an email. I think I forwarded it to you. Rise, you read Rise statement. They've all come out and say, hey, listen, your funds are safe. There's nothing wrong. It's just a freeze. They just can't do anything until the central bank is done. And 180 days, I mean, that's 6 months, right? That's 6 months. I mean, you've shut them down, essentially. There's a tweet from Victor Asemota, which I think I sent to the WhatsApp platform.
Yes, you did, yeah.
He's tweeting, by the way, he's tweeting from Ghana. He's a diaspora tweets, basically. He's an angel investor in the tech space. And he says, interesting thing is that I didn't put a dime from Nigeria into Bamboo. All was done from outside Nigeria. I don't know if the central bank realizes that these companies serve everyone in the diaspora, those in Nigeria. That diaspora money they want will fade away soon. There was another, there's another fund called I think it's Overwood. They're a fund that does investments. Yeah, so that's the tweet that you're showing now on your on the screen.
YouTube, yeah.
Overwood. This is let me send you this from Overwood. This was very interesting here. I have to send this to you to put this up.
Okay.
So another fund that engages in they handle investments for people, right? And so they sent this email out. It says I can't remember the gentleman's name. It's Tayo Oyediji, I think is his name. He said, someone asked me last week, why doesn't Overwood trade in foreign currencies or cryptocurrencies or foreign stocks? I explained that it's because of the regulatory landmines around foreign currency transactions in Nigeria, one of our key markets. These regulatory landmines are the reason we do not accept US dollars as a transaction currency in Nigeria. And they are also the reason Overwood dollar is held in trust by a USA subsidiary. Therefore, I'm happy to let you know that the recent clampdown on US dollar transactions in Nigeria has had zero effects on your funds with Overwood. So you can see how other funds that are transacting in Nigeria have quickly come out and said, please don't panic. For instance, don't transact in anything because of the regulatory environment in Nigeria. So you can see the ripple effect of what this type of thing, what it can have, on these companies. So, that's there. Well, it's almost out of time. I quickly, I have to get to NITDA very, very quickly here because that's another thing that came. NITDA is the National Information Technology Development Agency.
Okay.
They were formed in 2001. They are governed by the National Information Technology Development Agency Act, which is from 2007, but the act is outdated. So they had to come out with a new act. The act leaked, the amendment bill leaked and has caused all types of panic in the tech community in Nigeria because of two key sections in the draft, I emphasize, draft bill. One is that they want to license all players in the technology space. They are saying that you'll be licensed as either a product license, service provider license, or platform provider license. They haven't given any indications of, like Linda Ikeji. What is Linda Ikeji, a product license or a service provider or a platform provider? Maybe she falls under platform provider. Also, they said that there's going to be a information technology development fund, of which 1% levy on profit before tax for companies that make 100 million naira a year will be applied to this fund. They said that if you operate a platform outside of what has been stipulated here, you are operating illegally. So between that and this CBN shutdown of these fintechs and the Twitter ban and the crypto ban, and I mean, it just seems like there's an all-out assault on the fintech. Well, one can argue that it's because of the FX illiquidity, was there's too much demand coming from those guys, and that's why this is happening. So very quickly, what we're seeing in the fintech, it's Tech Wednesday, unfortunately. That's what we're seeing today. It's
Tech Wednesday, that's right. But I mean, important points here, and I saw, is it messages, tweets from overseas, as to some of the responses to these directives from the CBN, this NITDA, this fund as well, and a number of people are just saying, like you've mentioned, a greatest attack on fintechs, the fintech space. And I know that earlier, a few weeks back, you talked about the contribution to the GDP of the tech space. And it's almost as if we're shooting ourselves in the foot. And so you want to understand what the action plan of the government is. So Benga Komu says, all things bright and beautiful, Nigeria kills them all. We must have a conversation about the poor service of the GSM providers. It is atrocious. And so on another note, and the NCC is not protecting Nigerians. I have to, oh gosh, Rotus, we need to have like a full conversation.
A full, much more time.
Align with him. And then we have Ayo saying the CBN is just moving businesses offshore. Nigerians will transact using our foreign apps. This does not solve the FX crisis, but creates more problems for businesses in Nigeria. And then Daniel is of the opinion that the CBN is not successfully managing or doing what they're supposed to be doing. He said, I invested in a Euro bond fund through a broker and I had to pay black market rate. It's impossible to get funds from CBN for almost anything. It's crazy to put funds or investments in Naira. Naira is on free fall. So he's saying they haven't successfully managed exchange rates as they're so unpredictable. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for your messages. A big thanks to you, Rotus. I'm sure some of you might have questions. for you. So if they do, you can send in your question, and I'll be more than happy to pass on to Rotus. If it's possible, we will probably discuss further on Friday, because we're probably talking capital markets tomorrow, and then on Friday we'll go into the tech space fully. So do stay tuned here for Business Express 981, 6:30 to 6:45 a.m. Monday to Friday. Thank you, Rotus. Have yourself a merry day. The way your top is very bright and merry this morning. So thank you very much for that spot of sunshine. All right, thanks everyone. We'll go live again for some more conversation at 7:30 for Freshly Pressed 981. But before then, stay tuned for some great music. At 9, about 7 o'clock, we will come online. That's Valentine and myself, to discuss or present to you the headline stories for today that we will be discussing at 7:30.
Business Express, brought to you by Rotus.
Thank you very much, everyone. Oh, this always happens.